It's been 9 months since cars have been on the racetrack in race conditions here at the Upper Peninsula International Raceway. But here, June 27th, 2020, we are ready to roll with the season opener here at the Upper Peninsula International Raceway. Not only is it the season opener, it's also the Art Ritchie Memorial, the biggest single-day event here at the Upper Peninsula International Raceway. The car counts are extremely high. It's one of the best car turnouts I've seen in the past several years here at UPIR. And as you can see, we have the vintage modifieds behind me, and it's going to be one heck of a night racing here at UPIR. The action's going to be wild, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll have the highlights for you just ahead on the Roads Racing Report here from the Upper Peninsula International Raceway.
Before the national anthem and engines roared, the UPIR family took a moment to remember Christian Grillo with a moment of silence. Christian was more than just a racer. He was a friend to many. His $1 million smile and welcoming presence in the pit area were both deeply missed Saturday night. From everyone who was lucky enough to know him or watch him behind the wheel of a race car, Christian, we will always remember you, and we will always miss you. For the Parade of Flags, several generations of the Ritchie family toured the UPIR track. Afterwards, heat races ran with no major issues. The first feature of the night brought the Riverside Auto Group Youth Microsprints to the track. Taking the lead and pulling away was Jake Zimmerman in his 37Z machine, who would take the checkered flag. Defending track champ Ethan Manninen and Liam Steinhauer finished second and third. From the drop of the green flag, the racing was edge-of-your-seat stuff in the UPIR Sportsman Microsprints. While the field battled side by side and sometimes three wide, Brennan Swanson pressured Gunnar Hansen for the top spot. He would look to the inside and sometimes to the outside, but to no avail. A spinning Drake Dagnan would bring out the caution, bunching the field back together. On the restart, Hansen leapt back to the point, but trouble behind him would soon bring out the red flag. Dave Hosking would make contact with Brennan Swanson, sending Hosking's car around and upside down. It wasn't over yet for Hosking as flames soon erupted from underneath his car. Thankfully, the flames remained mostly on the racing surface, and track officials were on site quick to put out the fire. Dave was okay and even remained in the car for a ride back to the pits. Racing resumed and Brett Lobb made his presence felt on the outside, and then on the inside to take the lead with 2 laps to go. Lobb would remain out front and take the victory with Hansen second and Trevor Denome coming home in the 3rd position. The Getchell Builders 600 Micro Sprint class battled for their feature next. Greg Bryak, substitute driving for Kyle Getchell, led the early laps, but Kevin Warm would soon take over that spot. Unfortunately, as quick as he took the lead, Kevin Warm was soon out with mechanical issues. Another scary moment slowed the action as Jeremiah Roberts' car erupted into a ball of fire in turn number 1. Thankfully, the flames quickly extinguished themselves. Jeremiah was able to keep the car under control and climb out without assistance, and as always, the UPIR track crew was quickly on the scene. Matt Peterson would take control after the restart and find his way to victory lane. Returning Greg Bryak would be second, and Logan Getzlov in third. Always a blast from the past, the Vintage Modified division was in action next. A hornet's nest of activity in the pack kept drivers like 2019 champion Scott Dagnan, Jamie Iverson, and Alan Yell busy in the early laps. Dagnan would emerge from that pack to battle a pair of Valakettes, Jake and his son Matt. From there, he would pass Jesse Denome for the lead, but like Kevin Warm before him in the 600s, Dagnan's time out front was short-lived as his left front gave way. Capitalizing on Dagnan's issues after the restart would be Matt Valakett, who would take the lead and win over Dan Lambert in second and his father, Jake Valakett, in third. Eric Mathieson and Billy Bowden led the A&L Iron and Metal Street Stocks to the green flag for their feature next. While Bowden was able to grab the lead, drivers like Paul Wagner and Ron Genshak tried to claw their way through the field. As Billy Bowden pulled away, the battles behind him were music to his ears. Kurt Schwabach and Eric Mathieson traded some paint for the second position, while Tyler Corwin tried to make it 3 wide, but thought better of the move. Stuck on the outside, Mathieson would soon fall victim to Tyler Corwin and Paul Wagner. However, Corwin would soon loop his car in turn number 2, erasing Bowden's lead. Caution or not, it was still Billy Bowden coming out on top. In second was Kurt Schwabach with Paul Wagner following in third. Ron Genchak recovered from a flat tire in his heat to finish fourth. The Binks Coca-Cola Sport Modifieds main event was up next with Pat Ritchie and Jeff Solomon leading the field to green. Ritchie looking for his third win in the event named for his father. Solomon would spin exiting turn 2 just laps in, and track officials would send Frank Gasparini to the end of the field, for they deemed him responsible for the incident. On the restart, Solomon would lead the field back to green, but would soon battle Pat Ritchie for the top spot. Behind them, it was pick and choose a lane as drivers spread across the track to fight for position. While Ritchie grabbed the lead, another iconic UP racing name moved into second as Jamie Iverson made his way under Brett Wittes. Matt Valaket, trying to get up to third to join the battle and go for 2 wins in one night, would spin in turn number 2 as he was fighting to the inside of Lonnie Dalgord. Another late race yellow would set up a mad dash for the win, and with 1 to go, it was anyone's guess who would take the win. Pat Ritchie held his line on the bottom, but Logan Fleischman was coming strong on the top side. Down the back straightaway, Lonnie Dalgord took a look to the inside, but Pat Ritchie closed the door, and through 3 and 4 it was Fleischman with the run to the checkered flag to edge Ritchie for the win. Lonnie Dalgord finished in third spot. Alex Constantino would assume the lead early in the Sport Compact feature while the rest of the field fought for second. Matt Adams took things 3 wide down the back stretch as drivers fought tooth and nail for every position. Adams would battle Elliott Reed and Mitch Meyerhofer over the course of the middle of the race, but would soon find himself in trouble. Down the back straightaway, Adams' car slowed, and when he came around it was apparent what the issue was. There are flat tires, and then there are flat tires. Despite a late race charge from Elliott Reed, Alex Constantino led the race start to finish to take the checkered flag. Reed followed him in second place, and Mitch Meyerhofer finished in third.
With the conclusion of that 4-cylinder feature with Alex Constantino getting the win, we reach the end of night 1 and the Art Ritchie Memorial Race here at the Upper Peninsula International Raceway. A great night of racing with not only clean racing, but exciting racing. Of course, a few scary moments throughout the night too. Dave Hosking and Jeremiah Roberts both having a close encounter with fire, but both drivers okay, and we'll race again another day. But for our time here at the Upper Peninsula International Raceway, I'm Todd Rose with the Rose Racing Report. We'll see you at a track soon, everybody.